Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom to all my friends in SW3 and beyond. Excuse me that I'm calling you from a car, but I'm going places, rushing for Shabbos. And the growth is because we have started the Sefirat HaOmer, counting of the Omer, which at the time was a very exciting time, leading up the 49 days from the day we left Egypt until we arrived at the mountain of Sinai to receive the Ten Commandments. But subsequently, 1,000 years later, it is the 33-day period where thousands of incredible leaders, rabbinical leaders, all pupils of Rabbi Akiva, died in a plague, and we still mourn them during this period. And some people don't shave, some people don't have live music. There is a period of time where you may not get married. At this time, it's a sad time because of what happened 1,000 years later, but not during the actual time of waiting to receive the Torah. Talking about Torah, an incredible thing happened this week. When the United Nations delegation went first to Russia and then to Ukraine just a few days ago, one of the United Nations delegates is a Jewish American, and he met his German counterpart on the trip. This story was retold by Rabbi Grossman from the north of Israel, one of the greatest living Jews. Look him up, Rabbi Yitzchak David Grossman. And he's saying the story because he spoke to the United Nations delegate. So the Jewish delegate sees his German counterpart. And the German counterpart knew he would see him. And he says, I have to tell you that for my sins, this is my past. My father was in the German Air Force. And my father was commissioned by Hitler to bomb the synagogues in the area. My father never been to a synagogue before, so before he bombed them, he went to check out a synagogue. And he walks into a synagogue, a beautiful building, rows of chairs, the middle lectern, and of course the Holy Ark. He opens the curtains of the Ark and opens up the beautiful golden doors and sees all these Torah scrolls. He takes one out. He undresses it, he rolls it open, he feels the beautiful leather, and he thinks, wow, this is beautiful leather. I will use this leather to cover my pouch with my identity in it. So he takes his identification pouch, cuts around the Torah, and folds the Torah scroll, that part, and puts it and takes it away. After the war, the general gives his son this pouch. And the general son is now giving it to this Jewish delegate. And the Jewish delegate gives it to Rabbi Grossman, who unravels. There are 600,000 letters in the Torah. And he unravels the random part that the German general cut out. On one side of that parchment, it is the only place in the Torah where God tells the Jewish people, if you don't go in my way, if you don't follow my rules, you shall be overrun by a tyrannical country that will do terrible things to you and your children and kill you. And on the other side of this double-folded Torah scroll was all about the promise of entering the land of Israel. The randomness of these two parts of the Torah, about one, the Holocaust Day in Israel was commemorated on Thursday, and one about Israel where we are commemorating, please God, next week Yom HaAtzmaut. The timing, the chances, so poignant that it always ends in a promise. And the world we're living in now, with the war going on, please God, that should end soon. And God's promise should come to us and deliver us for freedom, to be with our brothers and sisters all around the world in peace. Good Shabbos.